a little bit about the intel. Let's see, just how close we are. I'm going to let you guys know that when I bring stuff to you, I'm not reading other gurus. I'm not getting anything that I have from other people that have shows or have blogs. My stuff is directly from people that don't speak to anyone else but me. And sometimes I know you guys go, well, Bruce, you've acted like this was going to go so many times. I know it. Guilty. I have said that I feel we are very, very close. I've never called it, but I know I've let you guys believe how close I feel we are. And I have felt that way. And sometimes I still feel that way. Sometimes a show comes up and I'll go, man, we are right there. I might get that 800 number during the call. I've been led to believe that was going to happen, but it hasn't happened. So I've been shell-shocked just like you guys have by believing this was right there or was going to happen tonight or was going to blah, 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 just like you guys have heard, okay? But I will say this, most of the information I get is factual in the sense that it has occurred. It has occurred, or we have evidence of exchanges being done and at certain rates, or that bank information or bank systems have been updated, or blah, blah, blah regarding the redemption centers, whatever it is, right? These are truisms. These are things that have happened. It's not my opinion of something. It's me recounting what it is I'm being told that's evidence-based. So I want you guys to know that. I think you probably know that by now after 6 years and into my 7th year with the big call. I never tell you anything that I don't believe has occurred, number one, or will occur. But I want you to know that, yes, we have been so close, we thought, for a long time now. I don't want to say years, but certainly weeks, if not months. Because things are happening that make us believe that this thing is right around the corner. Hours away, days away, whatever it is. And it's important that you realize that this is one of these things that does change. This is something that we get information and everything is ready to go. We think everybody's hot to trot. We know it's right there. And then all of a sudden, nothing seems to happen or nothing affects us directly as Tier 4 Internet group participants, okay? It might be affecting Tiers 1, 2, 3. It might be affecting groups that have already exchanged, that are being hydrated. It might affect people that are doing Zim swaps in Europe. It might affect, other types of transactions or groups or something like that. But we that are part of the Internet group are considered part of the public. Now, I always use the designation John Q. Public or Joe Public to refer to people that have some currency, possibly bought some years ago, possibly were gifted currency, but really don't pay any attention, don't read any blogs, don't go online, don't go on calls, just really have no clue about where we are in this whole thing. They've got something as a result of somebody that told them either to get it or somebody that gifted them. And I think there are a lot of people out there that were gifted Dawn. Not too many for dinar, I don't think, because it was a little pricey to do that. But people that have been gifted Zim, Zim notes, one note, could be a number of different denominations. Yep. And I know that. We all know that. If you've talked to anybody that's done that. So people out there like that are what I call Joe Public. They're not really paying attention. They're not really aware of what is going on behind the scenes. And you know what? Maybe ignorance is bliss because they don't know, and one day they'll find out, hopefully one day fairly soon, they'll find out, hey, that monopoly money or funny-looking money or whatever that you gave me or that you told me to buy is real and has a value, and so on and so forth. Okay? But I guess my point in all this is saying that I make a distinction between those of us who are paying attention that have projects to do for humanitarian reasons, for humanity, okay, that sort of puts us in a little different space. You know that because of what I've told you, that the so-called privately negotiable rates, the PNRs, are available at redemption centers. This is those separate standalone centers. Sometimes they're tier one banks, but usually they're separate offices that have been leased by HSBC and Wells Fargo to do these exchanges or do these redemptions, as I call them, of the ZIM bonds, and that those locations are for us. Those locations are for the Internet group, which has got to be at least 6 to 6.5 million people strong. Because what they think they know in terms of numbers of people that have this currency across this country, much less the rest of the globe, I think may be accurate. It may not be. I know that certain people have gifted people, maybe more than they realize. Some people have gifted 50, 60, 70, 100 notes because they didn't cost very much and they make such a huge difference in people's lives, especially on the ZIM. So there's a lot of, I think, currency that has been gifted that may not be known about. Okay? It just may not be. It doesn't really matter to me because I'm not concerned about that as much. I'm more concerned about those of us who are paying attention, those of us who have been with this for a long time, in some cases 12, 13, 14 years. I'm in my 13th year, just about to complete my 13th year. I don't want to go to year 14, believe me. I don't think I will. But I will say this. There is a lot of information out there that I am made aware of. Okay? And some of it may be accurate. Some of it you can glean some truth from. And a lot of it is just not accurate. It's just not true. It's just not what's happening. And so what I try to do with you guys is I try to hear what's out there, hear what I get from my sources, and I try to put like-minded information together so that there's consensus, so that there's a certain amount of confirmation, even in my own material, my own information that I get. And because, anyone would do that. It's like, oh, I heard this from so-and-so. And these aren't just these are people that are in various arenas. It could be banking, it could be finance, it could be directly involved in the actual redemption center situation or process. Whatever it is, there are a lot of people that I hear from or that I get information from, and that I want to bring you the best information that I can, that I feel good about, and that I feel is honest. Because I never want to mislead you any more than I would want to be misled by anyone. Occasionally something I'm told doesn't come true. Not too often, because most of it is not time specific as to when is our turn, when we are going, when the 800 number is coming. That kind of information generally does not come from my main sources. Okay? So what I'm trying to say is that's one reason I can't really, even though I've come close, I try not to give you rates or date. Because the minute I give you rates, guess what happens? The rates will change. They'll either go up or they'll go down. And it's not wise for me to do that. I don't want to misinform you guys, even though at the time, maybe I know what the rate is. Maybe I don't know what it is. You know, it varies day by day. But as far as the timing, you know, remember when we read in the Bible that even Jesus, when asked when that time would be for his return, meaning for the great catching away of the church at the time of this quote unquote rapture, which is not a word in the Bible, but just a word that's used to describe the great catching away of the church. You remember that he says, you're not to know, and even he didn't know, Jesus didn't know the day nor the hour, but we're to know the season. That's where we are. We don't know the day or the hour, but we know that we're in that season right now. And I think you guys know that. I think you can sense that in the spirit. I think you know that we're very close. I feel we're extremely close. And I really believe that. And so I just want you guys to know that. Now, that being said, let's talk a little bit about Iraq. Still under blackout, yes. They did have a rate change already, yes. People that have the so-called key cards, okay, spelled QI, key cards, from Iraq that are citizens, they're paid on these cards, and memos, emails have gone out telling them, this was a few days ago, today's Tuesday, so this was since our last call, telling them that in such and such a day, so many hours away, they would have 3 to 4 times the spending power that they have now on their cards. It's like, oh, wow, that's great. 3 to 4 times, wow. Then the next day, they get an update to that says, correction, 7 to 8 times the spending power that you currently have.